Welcome to Game Over. I'm Charles J. Orlando.
And I'm Lisa Stedman.
Welcome back. This is the show broadcast to you every single day, Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Other times are listed at thegameovershow.com.
5 p.m. Eastern.
We give it to you straight, so if you need politically correct love advice, please write into Dear Abby. Until then, we're going to give it to you straight, even though it might be the harsh truth.
And we talk to gays, too.
Do you start every conversation this way?
Well, you keep saying straight, and I feel like we're just, really leaving people out.
Oh, well, I'm not trying to insinuate that at all.
Okay. Hey, what's hot?
There's all kinds of things that are hot. What's hot? So,
What's hot, dude?
let's talk about first date sex.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, not, but for other people.
Oh, okay.
So,
Because I was like, Charles, I don't know you that well. We've had our first date too many years ago.
Well, so there's
First
a
date sex.
new study that came out.
Yep.
Relationships over the long term may have more harm than good if you have sex on the first date.
Fucking duh.
Well, maybe there's a lot of people who are going to write in, and you can write into us too.
What's the study? Who did the study?
So this was put out by this was an online survey
Okay.
that included 11,000 unmarried people in steady or serious relationships
Okay.
who rated the level of their satisfaction with their relationship,
Okay.
their ability to communicate with their partner, and the stability of their relationship.
All good things to rate.
Right, how often the stability being rated, like how often they thought their relationship was in trouble. And among the couples who had been together for at least 1 year,
Okay.
those who had engaged in sex before or within the first few weeks of dating
Not so happy?
had lower levels of relationship satisfaction, communication, and stability.
You know, we talk about this a lot. This feels like such a no-brainer and a duh, and yet so many people get into relationships and based on having sex on the first date, and then they think, nirvana, we're here.
Right, well, and a lot of people just don't realize that those first dates and that
Relationships
drive.
build.
No, I wasn't even going to say that.
Relationships build slowly over time. Drink. That's the Game Over Show drinking show. Or
No,
you.
but these relationships, you're driven at the beginning by high levels of dopamine.
Which makes you
it's
dopey.
all infatuation.
Yeah.
And because of that, you're not making clear decisions. The couples that waited have a better long-term relationship
Yeah.
because they invested emotionally. No?
Well, and they decided that it was a relationship they wanted to be in, rather than like, oh, well, I'm sleeping with him or her. I might as well stay with this person.
Right.
I
Totally.
love that.
So that's what's hot. Wait on your first dates to have sex, probably.
Not probably. If you want a hot long-term relationship, don't have hot sex on the first date.
No doubt. Have it on the second date.
Wait for that shit.
What about one-night stands? Where does that fit? Well, that wasn't part of the
Well, but
study.
that's not relationships. If you just want to get some booty, have a one-night stand.
Well, one-night stands are great, and the second time you can do it laying down. See, it works out perfectly.
On the Starbucks bathroom floor where you like to do it?
Oh yeah, that's me. Please, Burger King, not Starbucks.
Oh,
All right, so
I stand corrected.
the topic today.
Yay! Holidating on a budget.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so here's the deal. It's the holiday time. God, you're looking at me with that look. We had a crazy hilarious pre-show. You can watch it live on Charles's fan page at The Problem Is Men. I got all the giggles out, and now Mr. Gigglemaster over here is giggling up a storm. So let's talk about dating on a budget during the holidays.
Which is challenging, right? I mean, there's so many expectations that are there.
Well, that's the problem, is the expectations, if you don't talk about it.
We'll talk about that. So how do you reset expectations?
Well, so specifically if you're dating somebody new and it's been like, let's say 3 months, and so you're in a new relationship and it's holiday time and you're kind of wondering, are we going to spend the holidays together? Or maybe
Right.
you've talked about that, but you haven't talked about gift giving.
Right.
And maybe you're expecting something fancy, something expensive.
Well, and that would apply to an established relationship or a new relationship that started, over the last couple of months,
Yeah.
and now you're there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So I think a big important thing to do is to set expectations and really
Yeah.
talk about your plans for the holidays, as well as kind of your stance on gift giving, because you don't want to wake up on Christmas morning or whatever you celebrate and be like, oh, and then there's nothing there, and then you get in a fight and you break up.
Well, or you've gone and done something huge and lavish, and the other person was like, I made you something. And if that doesn't, well, which is fine. No, I like that. You like that? No, but made gifts are like the best, right? And they really are. But as long as everybody's
not corny and cheesy.
Well, as long as it's not corny and cheesy, but they come from the heart, so that's fine, and I get that. But as long as it meets the other person's expectations,
right?
You know.
So, and I get that financial times are tough for a lot of people. So, if you are on a budget, talk about the budget. Don't hide from the other person. If you're feeling strapped for cash, don't sit there and pretend that you can afford something lavish.
Right.
If you're talking about going on vacation together and you can't afford it, don't max out your credit card to go, because this will be the way you operate in your relationship when it comes to money for the long haul. So set it up front where you're at and what you can afford.
Sure, and nobody should ever look at gift giving as like proof and validation of the way you feel, right?
Ladies, I'm sure gentlemen are occasionally guilty of that, but I would say a lot of ladies like to think, if he buys me something fancy, it means he loves me. It could just mean that he wants to get some more booty.
The problem is what?
Men. But, so here's the deal. Like, how does he treat you every day? I know that sounds really corny. I would much rather have a man treat me fabulously every day than have him treat me like so, barely recognize or acknowledge me, and then get a nice big fat ring or rock or whatever on during the holidays.
Well, sure, then it's like payment for treating you like shit. That
Boo, game over.
Totally doesn't work out. Absolutely. So that's definitely part of things. The other thing that I would want to talk about is around what do you do for the rest of the family, right? If you're in an established relationship, and you end up with a large family, how does that work when you're purchasing for lots of people? And that's the other place where the budget could come in.
Yeah.
So one of the other things I did want to talk about also is around, what do you buy your guy? I get so many messages.
Yeah.
It's like, my guy, I don't know what to get him, He's like this and that. So firstly, guys...
Do you ask?
You should ask.
Yeah.
And he's going to go, I don't know.
I like his voices today.
I have lots of voices. They're all in my head.
I know. It's crowded up there. Scary.
We are having a great time.
Party dead.
No, but so you definitely want to talk about it. But as a guy, I think a lot of guys like things that relate to things that they're interested in or things that they can use. You know? Well, so one of my favorite gifts is all about experiences, right?
Love experience giving.
So yeah, definitely. I mean, whether it's so I'm going to plug a site that's not a sponsor, but so Cloud9 Living has something for a lot of different budgets.
Oh, cool.
Cloud9 Living has experience gifts, and you can find them at cloud9living.com.
Like what kind of things are on that site?
Everything from learning how to DJ to parachuting. Like you can just find, and it's based on your location. And I do believe that they have some international events as well. So our fans in Australia and the UK, you can find out more about them too. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm a big experience.
Me too. I much prefer experience gifts, yeah.
So, or there's always good staples of things that are disposable and consumable that guys really like. Everything from really high-end shaving cream, which won't break the bank. It's high-end but not high price. And that you can find at like the Art of Shaving.
Ooh, you're full of good resources today.
So, but so you want to do the ultimate gift for your guy? Like buy yourself lingerie.
Ooh.
Everybody wins.
That's a total win-win. Let's get back to your comment about if you've got a whole family to buy for on a budget, like extended family. I like to say in those situations, like take turns, like, maybe ask the whole family, let's each get one person something. And so you're not responsible for buying for all 10 people in the family. You're responsible for one person, and everybody else is too. Yeah,
it's the only way really to do it.
Yeah.
And I mean, because a lot of times a gift for your significant other or an adult is great, but Christmas, a lot of times, at least in my experience, it's all about the kids, right? It's all about the kids. So to the men who also feel all that pressure that they have to go out and get the perfect gift,
it's a lot of pressure.
It is, but ask your girl's friends, right? Get all sneaky, and give her friend a fast text message or a fast call and find out what she's looking for. Because her needs are going to change, right? So do that too.
That's a good man right there, ladies and gentlemen. I like that.
I'm just listening. right?
Listening is good. Listening is good. I love the experience thing too. My husband and I typically take a trip during the holidays rather than give each other gifts because it's far more meaningful for us to spend time together. And that's the other thing I think is really important. During the holidays, remember to spend time with your significant other.
Right. Well, and that's low on budget too, because
Yeah.
time is free, right? Time
Yep.
is free. So definitely, I mean, one of the best gifts that I've ever like experienced was that kind of time. But there's nothing wrong with like a carpet picnic or a picnic that sits on top of your bed that leads to all kinds of bad shit.
You said carpet, and I just went somewhere naughty. I don't know why.
No, you're supposed to.
Rug
that's
burns.
that's the exactly.
Hey, we have to pay some bills.
Let's do that.
Yes.
Our sponsor today is Your Tango. YourTango.com is a great
great
resource.
website.
Yeah.
So if you are dating, if you are single, if you're going through a breakup, if you're going through a divorce, if you're a single parent, Your Tango is your smart love advice like resource.
Right.
So regardless of what stage you're at, you can check them out. You can get resources, you can get articles, you can get videos, you can talk to experts, you can just learn a whole bunch about relationships. And we love Your Tango.
Love Your Tango. Check them out for sure. I want to take a small break here and say welcome to our brand new producer, Fiona.
Yay, Fiona! Woo woo! Fiona's in the house.
Yep, she's owning the show, which is why you just have us sitting on the couch with awesome talent behind the boards. So, Fiona, we love you. Thank you for being here.
Yay! Yay! Oh, she's doing. Is that Bieber? Did Bieber start that? Who started that?
I
Was
can't
that
believe
Taylor
this.
Swift?
You know what? I think we're just going to cancel the show right here.
Is that Taylor Swift? Who is that?
In the second half of our show, we always offer you live advice. Street Smart Love Advice here. And if you have a question, you can definitely write in to the website that's sitting on your screen, and that's facebook.com/theproblem-is-men. You click on the message button, and we'll get it here. But for now, Street Smart Love Advice. So our first comes in, we have two that we want to put together here.
Yeah.
The first is from T, who says, why do we always push the ones we love away?
Ooh.
Okay? And let's combine that with this
Sure,
next one, right? This is
sure.
from P.
Hi, P.
And
Hi,
by the
P.
way, if you're writing in, we keep you all anonymous.
Yep.
So
Yep.
please
so
feel free to write in.
be as safe and like it's a safe environment. We will never reveal your identity, and then we wanted to get follow-up from you. So let us know how this advice works for you.
Absolutely. So T writes in, why do we push the ones we love away?
Mhm.
He writes in and says that I run hot and cold.
Ah.
So these people are on opposite ends.
I hope they're not dating.
I have many guys interested in me, but I can't seem to break this barrier of mine to allow them closer
Oh,
and be able to see where things go. I've suffered a lot in my young life, and this is a major factor is what's causing this issue, I think. I want to be able to let myself go and stop wasting guys' time and lead them on without giving them any chance. My life is great apart from all this. How do I get through these commitment and trust issues?
Ouch.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, right? I mean, firstly, P, you're great for acknowledging that it's on your side of the fence.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
Like facing the problem is the first way to finding a solution. So
Yeah.
woohoo!
Commitment issues are tough to get through, right? Part of
What
it,
causes them?
well, she's got part of it where she says that I suffered a lot in my young life. So it sounds like you've got a combination of like attachment and vulnerability issues. Like you don't want
Okay.
to put your trust out there.
It's scary.
Well,
yeah.
it is really scary. So I guess the issue for me is now that you know it, you're going to have to start testing waters a little bit in order to move past this.
So letting people in slowly and seeing how
Sure.
she feels about it, and what
Yeah.
happens when she gets scared and wants to run away, which we've all been there, right?
Well, you got to work past that, otherwise
Yeah.
you're destined to do this. Now, here's the warning though, right? You could put your trust out there and they stomp on it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the risk you take, but that's the risk you take with love no matter what.
Right, but so this is what's important to talk about here is making an educated choice. Like we were talking
Right.
about earlier in the show about not jumping into bed too fast. Don't jump into bed too fast so you can get to know the person you're actually dating and you give your trust away to the right person.
Right.
Maybe you have a history of giving your trust to the wrong person. That's part of what makes you not want to feel vulnerable again. So giving yourself permission to get to know someone slowly so you can see if they're safe enough and if they're reliable enough and if they're worthy of being vulnerable with.
Definitely. And that's why I wanted to put those two together. Why do we push
Yeah.
the ones we love away? That's fear of vulnerability. Yeah, you're just afraid. So you can either choose to work past that, or you can choose to repeat that in each relationship.
And repeating the same mistakes over and over in relationships is so exhausting. So I highly recommend that you work on it so you can have a fabulous love future.
Our next comes in from S. I'm going to
Hi,
read this,
S.
but I want you to take this.
Ooh, okay. I don't know what this is about.
So this
S,
is from
go
S,
for it.
and a woman.
Okay.
So I'm in a relationship with someone that I love. We have a beautiful family together,
Nice.
beautiful baby girl.
Aw.
But before their daughter was born,
Okay.
they went through a bad state, and he ended up with someone else. While they were
Bad
broken
states.
up.
They were broken up. He was
Right.
with someone else.
Everything came to everything, and now they're back together.
Okay.
But
Okay.
they still fight about the girl that he was with during that time. He
Ooh,
says he's not
okay.
talking to her anymore.
They're
How-
fighting about it.
However,
Dun dun dun.
he still has pictures of her on his Facebook.
Game over.
And he says he doesn't talk to her very much, and he doesn't go on Facebook very often.
So why are the pictures still there? Why
Good
are the
question.
pictures still there?
Well, yeah.
Why are the pictures still there?
The pictures shouldn't be there.
So first of all, yeah, the pictures should not be there, number one. If you're gonna get back together, you have to forgive the past. Otherwise, you're just gonna make each other miserable every day talking about that girl, right? Like that's just recipe for disastrous relationship, number one. So if you can't get over her, you might have to leave the relationship and say game over.
Right.
However, I say massive game over for pictures on Facebook. I don't care if you never log into Facebook. Log in, delete that shit, and get on with your life.
Well, see, and that's where I
I
come
have an
out.
opinion about that. Sorry.
No, that's where I come out. So was this technically an affair? No, they were broken up. Okay, I get
Lost
that.
Rachel, we were on a break. Wah, wah, wah.
No, I totally
Yeah,
get it. I totally
get
get
it
it.
too.
But at the end of this thing, like if you're still fighting about her and he has pictures up and you've told him, all he has to do is log in and take them down. My gut as a guy, and I'm not
Yeah, all
diagnosing right, my gut as a guy is there's the reason he has to keep them up there. Like someone else is looking at them to see that they're still there. Otherwise, it would not be an issue, right? It would be like,
Game
oh
over.
yeah, this is all done and over with. Let me just take this shit down.
It's really disrespectful to her that he's kept him up.
Well, sure it is, and that's because my gut is that it's not quite done.
Game over.
Game
Game
over to
over.
that. My suggestion: if he's not willing to take him down, then it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Something else
Game
is
over
going
on
on.
his ass.
You
And
don't-
keep
yeah.
us posted on that because that's bullshit.
You don't have all the info. You don't have all the info. Otherwise,
Take it from a
they'd
guy.
be, yeah, no way, no way. He'd have to keep him up there. He'd have to keep him up there. Yeah, you're not getting the truth. This comes in from a guy.
Ooh, okay. Hi, guy.
Hi, Jay.
Oh, hi, Jay.
I'm living with my fiance, and we have a 2-month-old baby boy. They're preparing to get married.
Okay.
His concern is around how do I get more respect from my wife throughout the marriage that we're looking forward to. Yeah,
Does that mean he's not getting respect now?
I think that's a part of it, but I also think what I'm reading in his question is that he's concerned that marriage is going to change the relationship.
Okay.
And it does change things for a lot of people.
Sure.
Yes, it's
But-
just a piece of paper, but
But does the respect level change?
for some people it does.
It does?
Sure, people get complacent and people get comfortable.
Oh, got it.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
So it sounds like what you're asking, Jay, is how do you keep the newness and the respect and the honor and the trust in a long-term relationship and marriage?
Wow, that's interesting because I hope that the respect is already there, and your question is how do I maintain it? If the respect isn't there now, that will not change.
Right.
And I would say game over because it's not going to change.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're contemplating marriage and respect isn't there and you think marriage is going to solve that,
Game over.
no, it's not going to. But
So game on for maintaining that respect. How does that work? Talk to me about that.
well, so it really takes, I mean, we've talked about this in a variety of different places, online and offline, and even on this show. I think that I'm one of the few people who says that communication is not the cornerstone of a relationship.
So what is?
Active listening.
What?
Active listening.
What?
Active listening.
Active listening.
Active listening and empathy, right?
Love that.
And that's real on both sides of the gender divide.
So that's really so here's one suggestion is make sure you're respecting your partner.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're worried about commanding respect or receiving respect, make sure you are giving respect.
Definitely. And that's where that listening comes in.
Yeah.
You know, like attracts like, so you're only going to be able to receive what you give. But with listening and empathy, you know, you're not looking to advocate your view and be right. you're looking to put yourself in their shoes and just see how they feel. You know, in long-term relationships, you end up with a choice, right? You can be right or you can be happy.
Say that again. I like
that
this.
Again. Oh, in a long, I was listening actively.
You were.
In a long-term,
Super active.
in a long-term relationship, you have a choice. You can be right or you can be happy.
So to break that down for anyone who's not quite clear on what that means, I love this. You do have a choice on a daily basis. Like, they didn't take out the trash. Do you want to obsess about taking out the trash, or do you want to take out the trash and move on with your day?
Right.
And then if you want to talk about it later, like, that's just one example. But this is really about, for long-term success in a relationship, really focus on being happy, because you're not always going to be right. Thank God.
And that doesn't mean that they get to tromp all over you
No.
and like you have to put up with all their shit. That's part of the empathy, right? You put your view out and they're supposed to receive it back. They're supposed to give it back to you. They're supposed to listen to your view and then be empathetic and empathize with where you're coming from. So you do that together and your relationship works out well.
Love that.
If you have a question,
Yes.
please write into facebook.com or log into facebook.com/theproblemismen. Click on the message button and Lisa and I will get it here.
We can't wait to answer your questions, and keep us posted. If we've already answered your question, please keep us posted on how it's going. We want to know if it helped, if you're in a game over or a game on situation.
Until then, this has been Game Over. I'm Charles J. Orlando.
And I'm Lisa Stedman.
We will see you tomorrow.
Bye.